Hello everyone, welcome to the Life Sketches channel. My name is Lily. I'm a 29 years old, confident, beautiful, and trying to get my life in order. Today I'm going to tell you a story that completely turned my life upside down and made me question who I am. I always thought family ties were a safe harbor until I faced a forbidden attraction. What would you do? Don't forget to share with me in the comments. It all started that day when I lost my job. I had lived in a big city for years, trying to stand on my own feet. But sometimes life hits you so hard that you lose all your strength. After I lost my job, I couldn't pay my rent. My savings in the bank were dwindling fast, and it was as if I had lost all control of my life. When I talked to my mother about it, she called me to her immediately. "I want to help you," she said. She told me that my father, whom I had never met before, had recently died and left me a house. She added that I could go and make a new life there. But I was shocked to learn that someone else lived in the house. David was my half-brother from my father's previous marriage, whom I had never met in my life. As someone who only became aware of my father's existence after his death, learning of David's existence created a complicated feeling. When I spoke to David, I learned that he was also going through a difficult period in his life, recently divorced and struggling with his own problems. It was during this complicated period in my life that my half-brother and I came to live under the same roof. Two lost souls, people trying to hold on to each other. David was distant at first, but over time I realized that he was a supportive and warm person. He became an older brother, a father figure to me. He helped me organize the household. He made me feel that he was there for me in all my difficulties. David was a man of impeccable qualities. One day, as I was carrying my suitcases, he turned to me and said, "It's good that you came here. Maybe we both needed a fresh start." Those words shone like a light in the dark world I was in, and indeed David became the center of my life. One evening, as I was crying on my bed, looking at old photographs, David knocked on the door. "Is everything all right?" he asked. At that moment, all the fragility inside me burst out. "Nothing is fine," I said, my eyes full of tears and wearing only my underwear. David sat in the seat next to me and listened intently. "Sometimes life knocks us down," he said, "but the important thing is to get up again. If you need anything, I'm here." His voice was calm, reassuring. For the first time, I felt I wasn't alone. But I also felt something different in the way David looked at me. But I couldn't put anything past him. He had become a real supportive big brother to me, nothing more. After a few weeks, David opened up more space for me at home and turned the office he shared his room with into a living space for me. "This is your home now," he said, as he bought me a new bed. His generosity sparked a feeling of gratitude in my heart. But at the same time, I was puzzled by a strange warmth I felt when I was near him. Was it a bond of brotherhood or something more? I couldn't find the answer to that question. David's interest in me seemed to go deeper than that of a brother. He often cooked for me and guided me through my job search. One day, over breakfast together, he said, "Lily, believe in yourself." "I know how strong you are," she said. The way she looked into my eyes meant so much more than a normal support. At that moment, I felt a stirring inside me, but I quickly tried to suppress it. One evening, we were alone at home. David was spending time with me, as usual. We were watching a movie in the living room, dimly lit. As the movie progressed, The distance between us grew less and less. At one point, David reached his hand over the edge of the couch towards mine. I was startled for a moment, but I didn't pull my hand away. I could feel something change in his eyes as my heart raced. We both knew that this moment was not normal. David leaned toward me and said softly, "Lily, being here with you is the most peaceful moment of my life." The confusion and sincerity in his eyes left me helpless. Inside myself, I knew it was wrong, but the warmth I felt next to him overshadowed everything else. Our lips slowly moved closer together and finally met. This kiss meant so much more than a simple attraction. A storm was raging inside me. Both excitement and guilt overtook me. As his hands roamed over my body, I felt like a ship anchored in a peaceful harbor, a shore that was both peaceful and offered my body every possibility. That night we spent hours together in the living room. He said he couldn't get enough of my skin, and I couldn't get enough of his. I felt safe in David's strong arms. Throughout the night, we surrendered only to our feelings. But in the morning, reality came crashing down on us with its full weight. When I woke up in the morning, David was making breakfast. When our eyes met, we both seemed to be thinking about what had happened during the night. The silence at the breakfast table said more than anything else. After a while, David said, "Lily, I can't take back what happened, but it was real. I desire you with all my being, and I rejoice in your presence. You have been the center of my life, but our bond of sisterhood. How are we going to get through this?" These words evoked both warmth and great regret in me. I knew how wrong it was to continue this relationship, but the idea of losing him frightened me. As time passed, our relationship became more and more complicated. I couldn't sleep at night without experiencing the sensation of his embrace against my skin. I didn't want to open my eyes without him. I wanted him every second. But it wasn't true. The blood bond between him and me was real. I had to stop my desires, but I couldn't. David had become both a refuge for me and the person who created the biggest contradiction in my life. As the days passed, I began to crumble under the weight of this relationship. The thrill of this forbidden attraction had turned into an unbearable guilt. One evening, I decided to confront David, and I told him, "This can't go on like this. I don't want to lose you. I want you with every fiber of my being, but this relationship will destroy us." David felt the same way. "You're right, Lily. I love you. I can't breathe without your warmth. I can't stop thinking about you even when you're with me. But this isn't right. We're sisters. This is wrong." That night, we decided together to end our relationship. But that decision left a wound inside me. The reason I am sharing this story with you is to let you know that I am not alone. The biggest mistake I ever made in my life was also the moment I felt the deepest emotions. What about you? What would you do if you had to balance your love and your conscience? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories